Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to yet another episode of The Other Side with Fariha and Talat. In 2018, just 24.6% of technology jobs were held by women in the USA. And the USA is kind of it sets the standard for gender in different industries, right? So 24.6% only. Women quit twice as much as men when it comes to the technology jobs. And it's no surprise that women earn half as much as men or a lot lower than men do in the technology industry. So traditionally, Fariha, corporate science, all of this has not really been an industry that attracts, or courses in colleges also that attract women. So it's not traditionally been that, although that's changing because if you look, today, if you look at the software industry or technology giants, or if you look at GAFAM, which is the acronym for Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft, you see that in Facebook you've got a senior woman, so you do have female role models, so women like Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of Facebook, or even Susan Wojcicki, who's the CEO of YouTube. If you look at women like that, yes, there are more and more women that are coming into these senior corporate positions, serving as role models. Even then, it's still viewed, Silicon Valley is still a boys' club. Women still earn less than men, and the percentages in all of these companies is far lower than where it should be. So, they're just not enough role models. Fariha, I don't know, what are your thoughts about this?
Yes, so Talat, I think people must have guessed it. The topic is about women in tech. And we've got, I think you mentioned some really critical and important facts about women representation in the tech industry and overall in the engineering. So I think it's a great opportunity for women aspiring to have a career there, so that, be bold and courageous. I also want to put a slightly different angle, which is the startups. Because a lot of tech jobs are now about having a startup, and few things I wanted to share in terms of and this is actually true for both genders, whoever is keen to have a startup. I think there are 4 skills which are extremely important, and this has been produced by McKinsey. One is the cognitive ability, and cognitive ability includes the critical thinking, communication skills, and your sort of rational thinking. So I think that's quite important. Number 2, interpersonal skills. And interpersonal skills means collaboration, relationship. Number 3, self-leadership, which means self-awareness and knowing what you're passionate about. And finally, being digital savvy. So I think when we talk about also women representation, it's a great idea. It's a great time also to take a sort of a stop and reflect amongst these 4 areas, which is it that pulls women down, because often it says it's the confidence and courage sometimes, not being bold enough to take the next steps. Also, I thought what was very interesting, we know we've got great successful stories of various startups, but we also know that most startups fail. And why do they fail? So when you look deeper, number 1, the cash flow. Number 2, again, a very obvious one, not having a bigger plan. You start small, but you should have a vision. Number 3, the desire to do everything on your own. Some startup because they don't have the funds and they want to do everything by themselves. Finally, also not spending or relying too much on sales and marketing. Of course, it's a given that your product or whatever services you want to bring, there is a need there, but also not relying too much on sales and marketing and thinking that, friends and family will promote it. And finally, giving up too easily also. So I thought there are some great tips, and the guest we have today, Shamim Raja, she's the COO Genetech Solution, Vice Chairperson PASHA, which is the Pakistan Association for Software House, and co-founder Code Girls.
So amazing. We spoke about international, female role models. And, I feel so proud, and I'm sure you do as well, as a woman and as a Pakistani, that we have someone like Shamim, who has been pretty much a trailblazer in the technology industry, entrepreneurship for women. So I'm so intrigued and interested to hear about her story and how she made her way. So really excited about this guest.